Hey everyone, this is Lomi, and this week I'm making a wig for Rhyllyn, my laddie doll Ray Christopher. I've already started by making a hard wig cap, and I have him covered with a plastic bag to protect his face while I'm making this wig. I'll be making this wig using alpaca fiber and applying it directly to the wig cap with a paintbrush and white school glue. You may notice there's a pencil mark on the back of the wig cap. I'll be using this as a guide for the parting line, which will go on the back for this doll. That's pretty different from what I've done before, but I think it'll work out well. I've already shared quite a few wig-related videos on my channel, so if you've been with me for a while, you've probably already seen a good portion of what I'm doing before. If this is your first time watching and you need to start from scratch, I have a whole playlist of wig-making videos that can help you get started. Today's wig is kind of a mix of things I've done before. I'm cutting fiber into small lengths and gluing them directly to the wig cap, which lets me vary the lengths a bit and also mix colors. I'm using alpaca fiber from the bales that belonged to my great uncle, and I dyed it myself using acid dye for natural fibers. This fiber has beautiful color variations that I think will make a really nice and interesting end result. I'll need to do some blending between these layers once all the fiber is glued on, but I think most of it will smooth out with a good combing. Rhyllyn is also the first of my dolls to have a wig that's short all over. Everyone else either has long hair or has long portions in the front. I guess those hairstyles are just what I naturally gravitate to. As with all my projects, I want to extend a big thank you to everybody supporting me on Patreon. Without your support, I'd never be able to do all the experimenting I do. I learned so much from doing these projects, and it lets me pass the knowledge on to everybody else. I don't believe in keeping trade secrets, so I pass on everything I know. I love helping people learn new things, and it really enriches the hobby for everybody. So thank you for everything you do. None of this would be possible without you. I glue the fiber on in a pattern that kind of radiates out from that line in the back, getting the fiber all the way up to it. Once I reach it, I let the wig dry overnight, then pull the bag off the doll and peel the wig off the bag. This wig cap was made with quite a few layers of glue, so it's pretty firm. Now, to finish the wig, I'm going to create the natural part by cutting the wig cap open. I use a knife to punch through the wig cap along that pencil line I made, then use tiny scissors to cut it into an open slit. Through the slit, I slide the glued end of a weft. This means there will be no glued wefts at this parting. They'll all be hidden inside. I add 4 wefts so it's good and thick and has plenty of fiber to fold in both directions. The hair on these is still pretty long, but I'll trim it down later. You can see the wefts inside. They're all laying to one side right now, which is a little bulky, so I'll make a few adjustments. I'll spread some glue on the inside of the wig cap and fold the glued parts of the wefts down, some to either side of the slit. Then I paint a thick layer of glue over the top of the wefts to hold them down. In order to protect these wefts and also hold the wig cap closed so it won't form any gaps where it's been cut, I glue a piece of the wig cap material over the wefts. For this wig, it's just a piece of mesh from a pair of pantyhose. I glue down the edges of the material and then push the wig cap back onto the doll's head so it can dry in the correct shape. His head is covered with the plastic bag again, of course. This gives me a nice, clean part with no visible wefts. And the hair is thick enough that after I trim off the extra, I can comb it in any direction to improve the look of the part. I wet down his hair with water to help tame the fiber, then comb it all out. If anything feels too wet, I can also dry it a bit with a cloth. I'll use blending shears and snip vertically into the chunky ends of the layers to even them out, and do the same thing to shorten any sections that are a bit too long. Then it's time to begin styling. I want the front to flip up a little, so I need it to dry that way. I can't find any hair clips right now since my daughter's always losing them, so instead I get the hair good and wet and then put clothespins on the front to pinch it into the shape I want. This will help train the hair to tip up away from the face. The hair on the back of the wig is sticking up terribly, so I tame it by putting pantyhose over his head while the hair is wet. When it dries and I remove it, it'll lay much nicer. After it's dry, I want it to stay in this style, so with the plastic still protecting my doll's face, I use a regular water-based hair gel for humans to style it. I can layer it on good and thick, and it should hold for a long time. Even though this wig is made with water-soluble glue, it is washable, as long as you don't let it soak in water for long periods of time. A quick rinse or a scrub using a wet cloth is perfectly fine, though it's a good idea to let the wig dry while it's on the doll's head to ensure it retains its shape. Just be sure to cover the doll's head with plastic so the wig won't accidentally get glued to it instead. And here's the end result. This actually wasn't the color I originally had in mind for him. It's more reddish than brown, but I really like it. I think it works nicely with his eyes, and the style seems to suit him well. It's also close enough to my descriptions of him in my books that I can keep it. I'm glad to see this little guy starting to look more like himself. As soon as I fix his lizard feet, we'll be in business. I'll be documenting all of his customization, but this is it for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.